So I want to see if I'm able to do that here, since I cannot use the board. So let's see. I'm trying to. I just discovered this morning also, so I'm not familiar with that. But let's try to use this. So the question says, in this space provided, draw and label. Let's see if I can change my background. Is there a problem, Mr. Elsie? Okay, please focus on the board. Draw and label a line XY 10 centimeters. So let me try to see if this will work. 10 centimeters, so depends on where I start now. Okay, I'm starting with something like 1.6, so I should stop at 11.6-ish. This should be 10. It's somewhat difficult to start from 0 sometimes, but I could check. Yeah, that's my 10. Okay. Now let's label that. That's my X and Y. Then I said measure angle 30 degrees. So let's try to measure 30 degrees from this point. Of course you can construct 30 degrees, but there was no need to construct 30 degrees if you can just measure from here. So 30 will be, fortunately there's no undo in this thing. That looks more like 30, is it? What?
Next to clear.
Oh yeah. Thank you. Okay, so is this my 30?
Yeah.
That's more or less my 30, right? So let's get this away. Put the ruler back and try to, can I rotate the ruler? Okay, we got a problem again. No, that's not what I want. Okay, finally. So how did I do it now? I don't know what I did. I'm trying to figure out. Okay. So I think if I touch in the middle, it just moves the entire object. But if I touch at the edge, wait, I passed 30 already. Actually, there's an easier way. When I did it earlier this morning, I just constructed the angles. I didn't waste my time doing all this stuff. So let's draw the line required from this point. Oh no. I'm using red so it can be differentiated, okay? Maybe you're in love with green, okay? Don't want to touch the ruler again, come on. I'm trying to draw a line, dude. Okay. Well, apologies, my line is a bit shaky. So that's my line, but I told you should extend it. Okay? So that's what we have. Then the next task was to, the point Z is 6 centimeters. Okay, so you come back here. Let's try to move the entire compass. How do I move the compass now? Okay. How about we bring the ruler down? So this point will be on 0, yes? And this guy will be on 6. Trying to measure, dude. Oh, he's locked. Okay, now I know. There's something called locked. Is that my 6?
Yeah.
So let's lock it. Lock it. This is cool, right? So let's put this on Y. And draw the arc. So let's change the color of the arc to maybe gray. Let's draw the arc. Wait, dude, I can't see any. Okay, let's choose that. Draw the arc.
Didn't you click the compass icon?
Okay, I think it's changed because the pencil color changed. Did you notice that? Ah, this is cool. Okay, never mind. So let's draw the arc. Ryan, are you proud of me? Wait, what?
Yeah,
Press the compass. Oh,
on
okay.
the side.
This one?
No, the one
Yeah.
on the right.
I'm so cool. Okay. I know you're jealous because your compass is not as cool as this. So deal with it, guys. For now.
Technologically advanced.
It's too much. Okay. Did you get this or not?
Yes.
But I know my friends over there did nonsense at first. Just kidding. Anyway, so that's what you should get. Let's move this guy away. We don't need you anymore for now. Now, what does it say? The next question. The next question says, is the point Z unique?
No.
No. If you got Z is unique at first, raise your hand like my friend Hoyu. I'm sure he must have erased it now. Has everybody figured out what I'm trying to investigate here? Okay, so that's point Z. Then the next question is, measure the angles of X, Z, Y. So basically, we could label this point Z1 and Z2. We don't need it. That's this one. So this could be Z1. Because there are 2 point Z's. You know, I'm used to Control Z. I was just going to type Control Z to
No, all the hard work.
Can you click undo?
On what?
Undo. So undo the delete.
Undo means.
Oh.
Oh,
I'm so sorry.
you see how it points.
I don't care. Anyway, so we don't waste time. Is your picture like this? Of course, I haven't drawn the Z part. So you should have something like this. Aha! That's not complete. Yeah, should look like that. Okay, so now when you repeated the process for number 2, what do you notice about the angle Z? 90 degree. And I said comment on the type of triangle you have constructed. Right angle triangle. So in that case, was your point Z unique or not?
Yes.
Yes.
For number 2. Unique means only one. Number 2, your Z is not unique. Joey?
Question 2.
Yes.
So 2 Z points per line.
That's not possible. There was a reason I did that. I used 8 and 4. 8 is the hypotenuse, 4 is the opposite. Oh wait. 8, yeah, 8 is my hypotenuse, 4 is the opposite. Using SOHCAHTOA, that's exactly a right angle triangle. So, unless you have done something wrong, you should have a right angle triangle, which means you have only 1 point. Okay? Who got just 1 point? So you could check whatever you have done wrong. If your XY is 8 and your arc is 4 centimeters, I don't want us to waste time trying to figure out with this one. It's time wasting. If your XY is 8 and this arc is 4 unit length, okay, and it's 4 unit length, it's going to be exactly on that line at 1 point. Because this is what I had in mind. X, Y, angle 90. If this is 30 degrees, this must be twice this. So that your sine theta will be this over this, and that must be 1 over 2, because sine 30 is 1 over 2. So that was what I had in mind. So if this is 8 and this is 4, you must have the right angle. If you don't have a right angle, you have done something wrong. Okay? Now for number 3, what do you notice? I said, what do you notice? What do you notice? And I put a clue about triangle. Yes?
It does not form a triangle.
It does not form a triangle. So my so-called triangle XYZ does not exist. Okay? You can say, oh, it doesn't form a triangle, or the triangle does not exist. Okay? And finally, the last but not the least, Is the position of Z unique in that?
Yes.
Only one position, right? Because my arc this time around is longer than the baseline. Is that enough?
Yeah.
So even your arc came out. If you have to draw a very long arc, it's going to come out. Okay? And I said measure the size of the angle. What do you notice? What do you get? 22, okay? And I said comment on the type of triangle observed. Scaling, apart from being scaling. Obtuse. An obtuse angle triangle. You know what obtuse angle means, Mr. Yanko?
Yes.
Mr. What does that mean?
This one of the angles.
So if it is IB, you're going to tell the examiner it is.
One of the angles.
That's what you have to say. Okay? One of the angles is more than 90. So that's what you should get, guys. If you do not get that, fix your mess. Now, number one is the reason we are learning what we are about to learn today. Because in the case of number one, we have two possible triangles, even with the same information. Is that not?
Yeah.
You have two possible triangles. What are the values of angle Z that you got? So in number one, let me try to just do a freehand sketch. Let's pretend my stuff is still there. Don't tell anyone it's not there. Oh, this guy can stick on the ball. I love that. I guess the magnet is not stolen yet.
Should you measure the angle first?
What? The dot is there?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
Okay,
right.
right. Yeah, it's up there.
I know I'm dumb, okay, but I'm not that dumb, okay? What?
It wasn't flat. It wasn't flat.
Did anybody do something? Don't touch that.
Wait, no, now it's flat. I'm not touching
Stop, stop. Why do you touch
it.
that?
No, it's flat.
Who cares if the earth is flat or round?
No, because if it wasn't flat, the dot might have been warped in a different spot.
Stop making me look dumb. Now Yanko is going to be making fun of me. Thanks to you. Okay, Yanko, I'll try.
Before you draw anything, let me make it flat again. First.
Oh my God. Okay, Mr. Flat.
This is draw the city.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm not gonna touch it anymore. No more touching.
If he touches, arrest him.
You can arrest it.
Okay, so Mr. Flatman, let's try to do this stuff. Watching you. Okay, I think that's my point. Yeah, I'm trying to get as accurate as possible. Boom.
How many degrees is that?
What?
Oh, that's 30?
This
Ha,
is
ha, ha. Carolina.
No, it's not legal.
Well, you have the paper.
Oh, well, you're drawing the... Oh, okay, okay.
Ha, ha, ha. Okay, now how do we get this one? Okay, we can't get this one, so we're just going to pretend what I have is 6 degrees. What's the length of this? 10.
No, 10, yeah.
So 6 should be somewhere here. So let's pretend something like this. It's going to go, okay, let's just pretend the arc goes like that. Right?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm cool. I know you're beefing my picture. Oh, I can't erase that. So this is Z1 and this is Z2. Why did I do this? Z2. Okay, just pretend this is not there. Okay, so in that case, you have two possible triangles, right? And what are the two possible triangles? You have this one and this one. Is that not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, your triangles are this or this. For the same information, you have 10, is it 10 or 8, please?
It's 10.
10, 10, 6, 6, 30 degrees, 30 degrees, X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z. This is, yes.
Neutral is not so
It's supposed to look like a right angle.
It's like the bigger one is the right angle. It's more like a right angle triangle.
For the
Like this one?
Yeah, the bigger one.
The bigger
This one?
Yes.
It's more of a right angle triangle.
Yeah.
And the smaller one is more like up.
So the smaller one is more flat, the bigger one is more like... Okay, what was the angle here again? 60. So that's of course close to right angle. Okay, but the idea that I want to explain can look like this. It's just because of the measure and the length. Okay, but this I'm sure you got the message. So let's just pretend it looks like this. So the point is, with this information given, some of you don't have time to review your stuff at home. The only time you can actually listen is when someone is trying to explain something. But if that is when you're doing whatever talking to you, I don't know what you're doing over there, then how do you pass the test? So the point here is, with this information, there are two possibilities. So when you use your so-called sine rule and say this over sine this is equal to this over sine this, it means your z can be of two possible values with this type of information. Understand? Now let's see what that will look like normally when we use sine rule. Does Anika speak English? You understand what I mean by everybody focusing? And you're still doing something there. Now, let's go back again. Let's pretend we are using sine rule, which we have all done. So sine rule will be together. Really? There's A on the board? Yes? Sine. What is the sine rule? Oh, gosh. Yes?
Sine 30.
Sine is
sine,
equal
okay,
opposite
sine.
over hypotenuse?
Please don't bring in your opposite stuff here.
Sine.
You don't know what I'm talking about, just be quiet. Because you're beginning to sound annoying. Yes, sine rule was just done yesterday. You're telling me opposite of hypotenuse. What has that got to do with anything?
Oh, sine A. Oh no, sine.
Sine,
Angle
angle, just use a letter, please.
Angle.
Gosh, what is going on today?
Angle X.
You did sine rule yesterday, guys, and the day before. When did you start writing sine 30 over something? Is that how I tell you to start a solution? What is the first thing I expect you to tell me?
Write down the formula.
So is the formula sine 30 degree? What is going on? What's really happening today? Draw triangle, someone is drawing a short line. Say sine rule, someone is telling me opposite of hypotenuse. What has gotten to you guys to this morning? Form 5, AA. Yes, sir, you raise your hand.
You just told Carter that there's no A on the board. That's why we thought that I guess we give you the.
What do you mean A?
Carter started with the formula A. I think it's
But there's no A on the board, and I told him immediately.
if you want to do it, then it should be sine A over A.
Why should it be sine A over A?
That's the formula given.
That's not the formula. When I gave you sine A over A, what was the line that I wrote before I wrote sine A over A? Please check your notes. When I wrote sine A over A equals sine B over B, tell me the first line before I wrote that sine A over A. I must have written a preamble. Unless you have not copied the notes.
Given triangle ABC.
In a triangle ABC. So do you have a triangle ABC? You did this in IGCSE. I can't believe I'm scolding you for this. I taught you myself in IGCSE. So if you have a triangle PQR, you're going to say sine A over A. Yes, please.
Sine X X.
Over what?
Sec.
Elsin?
Why sec?
Elsin? Don't start. Don't start. Yes, somebody give me something sensible. Yes?
Why sec? Sec X over Y sec.
Maybe you should sit with Elsin because that's what he just said. Sine X over what, please?
X.
Thank you. You see, some of you like to complicate issues for yourself. Just because you are trying to impress or show off and you get into trouble with it. Stay focused. I just told you sine A over A, sine B over B. We just agreed now that is for triangle ABC. So I need to tell you I need sine X over X. If you write sine X over YZ and somebody doesn't understand how we got that, they get confused. So you think we don't know it is YZ? When I was writing it, I couldn't have written sine A over BC. Just because you want to tell her, oh, you know X is YZ. And this is the problem with some of you when you write your solution. You want us to know that you know the whole encyclopedia. And nobody cares about that. Be focused on what you are doing. Right? Comment on this diagram. Oh, this diagram is an isosceles triangle. Period. Some of you go as far as, oh, the diagram looks like somebody in my neighborhood. Oh, there's a picture I drew yesterday. Who is asking you for these stories? Give a brief comment. Stop there. Not telling us about, oh, there's this guy come Mongo Park some years back. Who cares about the guy? Go write that in your TOK, in your psychology, or any other stuff that you need to balance your argument. Yes, that's where they welcome it. This is mathematics, not law. It's only one direction. Math is not subjective. It's not, oh, maybe your thinking is different from my thinking, so we need you to really explain your thinking so that we can agree with your thinking. There is only one answer to it. Of course, you can have different methods, but not telling us stories so we know that you are very fast, or you've seen something on Natural Geographic channel, you are able to use that. This is not social studies. And that's one of the problems I have with you, and also sometimes Carolina. And you guys need to stop. Be focused. It's not about how lengthy your work is. And you focus in your work, that's what matters. Your EE, your IA is a major criteria. Are you focused in your writing? So you can try to impress somebody all you want. If you lack that focus in your work, it's not just Mr. Daniel's requirement, it's IB requirement. And I say it every time. And yet people still come and tell us something we are not asking them to say. If you are teaching someone in Form 4 or someone in Form 3, of course you can deviate and use different scenarios and you know distract them a little bit, give them different instances. That is different. As I'm teaching you now, I'm going into different things that are not even relevant to sine rule and cosine rule because I'm trying to pass a message that's different. But if I'm writing my exam, why will I want to deviate? I'm going to teach my professor that already knows what I'm doing. You think he has time with all the research he's trying to do and all the other candidates he wants to mark to listen to all the 3 or 1 million arguments that I have on one single question that should take half page? Nobody has time for that. Let me tell you something. IB examiners are paid per script. So you think they're going to waste time on one candidate that is trying to give them 50 examples before they could go into the next candidate? If they are given 1,000 scripts within 1 month, and each of the 1,000 candidates is writing question 1, giving them 3 or 4 different scenarios for the same mark, 2 marks. So I'm going to read the first one, 2 marks. Second one, 2 marks. Really? Are we babies here? As if we are in kindy trying to impress our Miss J or Mr. P that is teaching us in kindergarten. Nobody has time. The world has moved beyond some of this stuff. And each time I mention it, some of you still don't listen. You're about to step into Form 6. You had better not repeat this attitude in Form 6. Is it got to what, please? To be substitute. Yes? I don't know how difficult this will be. And this has nothing to do with opposite hypotenuse. This is not a right angle triangle. That shouldn't have even been brought up at all. SOHCAHTOA is for trig ratios of right angle triangle. We are not dealing with right angle triangle. I shouldn't have heard opposite hypotenuse at all. Seriously, this is, I don't know. Anyway. Some of you will even tell you, do not use your calculator until you get to the last part. Mr. Marco is guilty of that. You're going to end up telling me this is 0.5. If it is sine 60, you're right here 0.86 and you stop. What about all the 1 million digits that you have missed? So when everyone is dividing by 6, you are dividing by maybe 5.9 because you have approximated, and your division will also need to be approximated. So everyone is getting 2.4, you are getting maybe 2.59. And you have a calculator that can help you do this. So there's no excuse. I think I need to start penalizing people seriously. Because that's the only language some of us speak. This is going to be 1/2, so this is more or less 5/6. Wait, that's going on. Sine Z. Thanks. So sine Z is 5/6 eventually. And Z is arcsine of 5/6. Somebody check that, please.
56.4.
6.4 degrees. Does that match with one of them? This one?
Yes.
Did you get 56.4 in the first question when you measure the angle? It's close. It's the construction. Something close. Yes, something close. 56.4, 57, 56.2. Depending on how accurate your arc is, you might get something that will deviate a bit. So we are not expecting it to be exactly 56.4. So yes, your diagram is perfect if you got something close to that. But this does not give us this scenario. This is only this scenario. And your investigation has just shown you that there are possibilities. With this information provided, that oh, this is 10, and this is 6, and this is 30, there are possibilities. That is why it is ambiguous case. That's why we call it ambiguous case of sine rule. What does it mean? Ambiguity. What does it mean, anyone?
Fair.
Speak louder, man.
Fair.
What?
PNG.
I can't hear you actually. Look at it. Something is ambiguous. Uh-oh. I hope you can see. It is open to what?
More than one.
More than one interpretation. And all the interpretations are facts. Young man, I'm teaching right here. You are looking in that direction. I don't know if you are really even listening or focusing to what I'm doing. It is open to more than one interpretation. There are committees in external exam that check for ambiguity. Before you get your paper in April, May, that paper might have been written since your paper for next year is probably already drafted. Because it takes months or years in planning. It's probably already drafted, From the draft, a committee will look at it for possible errors. Maybe the same committee or a different committee. After the committee checks, oh, okay, there's no error.